I feel like you're an unsung hero. I remember it's 2022, your first year in the league.
Yeah.
That was my last year leaving it. I was like, you saw there was something there in terms of like the way you just carry yourself. You move like a footballer. But now I look at you now, and I think you're polished, honestly. I think when I look at your game, you're just a guy that keeps developing, keeps getting better. But what would you say is your X factor? What would you say that really separates you from everyone else and all the other 25-year-olds in the league?
As a midfielder at Forge, there's an expectation that you can do certain things. I think everyone in our locker room who plays in the midfield could pick a pass and can see things, but I think my ability to stretch passes and play at a longer distance, as well as be clinical in the final third, is kind of what sets me apart as a midfielder. I know growing up, I used to play higher up the field. I did 1 year as a striker, and I just love putting the ball in the back of the net. So I think that has come naturally to me at the pro level, which is something I'm very happy to see. And just being a midfielder that's able to produce, I think, adds that X factor to my game.
What are your goals for this year personally? Obviously, as a team, I know with Forge, you guys set certain expectations to win and win it all and make a run probably for Can Champs. But what's a specific goal that you have for yourself going into 2025?
I think first and foremost, just to stay healthy for the full year. That's obviously a difficult thing being a professional athlete. So much of that is out of your control, but the stuff that you can't control, I think, is also important. And I know that I'm capable of taking care of that stuff. And then just to kind of develop and to take on or continue taking on steps that I've been doing so far in my career. I think every year my minutes has increased and my role on this team has increased. And this year I just wanted to be another example and be a testament to the player that I am.
I'm usually really good at this. Like I predict cup sets and like who's going to take off. But knock on wood, I really believe 2025 is going to be your year. You're going to be a name that we hear all the time. So don't let me down, bro. Make sure that I continue to be right. I walk around the office, CPL office, Gonzaga office, at a 90% success rate. Yeah. And you know what it's like as a midfielder, when you're walking around with 90%, you're that guy. Don't get drops from me, bro. Make sure you have a heck of a year.
I won't. I remember a funny story though. When we played you guys in 2022, your last year in preseason, when I came on at halftime, you said, "So you're the new Bex, eh?" That was the first thing you said to me. So
the way you move, everything, like this guy can play it, man. But it's actually beautiful to see him come together. Time moves quick, bro. I look at you now, I'm like, yeah, you're polished, bro. This is something different. But if you play for a different team, you'd be playing freaking 28 games all the time, every minute. But you had the right spot to really push yourself. Outside of playing, what's something that brings you peace? What calms your mind once you leave the pitch?
I'm a big reader. Going up to this will be my first season not in school. Finishing in December, I did my master's in business. So I finished that up. Got a nice little piece of paper to put on my wall, which is great. But yeah, I enjoy learning. I do a lot of like trivia, fun stuff like that, and then reading is just another way to get all this random information inside my head to be able to pull fun facts out at every opportunity.
You're intellectual. We love that. There's always room for those, bro. Always room for those. Who's your first text once you land?
Probably my dad. I know before every flight I send him the flight code just in case he needs to come looking for us. So he's my guy when it comes to that.
Did a breaststroke across the body of water.
Yeah, he'll come find me. I trust him.
Outside of your phone, what is a must-have for a travel item? Like, what do you absolutely need on a trip to be safe?
Going in with the phone is the headphones. But apart from that, probably a hat. I'm a big sleeper on the plane, so I put the hat over my eyes. I did have like a sleeping mask for a while, but I didn't know if I was confident enough to pull that out. So the hat will do. Just tuck it in over the eyes and fall asleep.
This is the type of content that we need. Do you think you're at the point now you can bring out the sleep mask?
Might have to, but I'll have the hood over so that nobody can really see it.
On your team, there's too many guys that would roast super calm with like a silk sleep mask.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd let that one down.
No, I don't think I would either, to be honest.
This one I'm excited to hear your answer, but you've been a key part in the league of the Forge for a few years now. But if you were to give advice to your 8-year-old self, what would it be?
I think, obviously football is a game that has a lot of up and downs. And I know when I was 8 years old, sorry, I didn't really understand that to the full extent. Because obviously going on the field and kicking a ball is the happiest time of your day. And I think even though 20 some years later, like that's something that has still stood strong for me, is at the end of the day, I enjoy this so much. And yeah, there's going to be times that test me as a human being and a professional athlete, but getting out of that and getting to the moments where you're able to lift a trophy or even just have a laugh and joke with your best friends at training, I think those are the moments that you live for, and you get the chance to really enjoy them when they're there because of how much that you've been through. And I think not only as a pro, but my time in university has really taught me that, and just to go through the ups and downs, but to really enjoy those moments when they're there.
That's a beautiful answer. I mean, to echo that, what would your best friend say about you? Like, how do you think your best friend would describe you to someone else that doesn't know Noah Jensen?
I think that they would describe me as a happy guy, someone who's always trying to make people laugh, and someone who shows up every day and gives their best, regardless of how I'm feeling. And I at least I would hope that's what my friends say about me. Maybe they'd say something different. You don't know. You might have to get Borges on here to say so.
You seem like a happy guy. So I feel like if I agree with that for sure. Do you have any game day rituals?
I do. So I have a Cliff Bar every game day right when I get in the locker room. Give me some.
Flavor or what? Doesn't matter?
Yeah, usually the white macadamia one is my go-to. Get some good energy in there, and then usually, well, now it's got to change. It changed because last year I would pass with Kwesi before every game, but I think Malik's kind of taken over that role. And then usually when we're back in the locker room, I'm tying my right boot before my left. But someone did tell me it's going to take a lot more than tying one boot before the other to play ball. So.
Now all these little margins, bro, it just helps you get into the routine of the psyche.
Yeah, it's the mindset.
I don't believe in it, but I always did. I believe that like, you have your set way of going through things.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to adapt. No game day is the same, but you still have your way of approaching it. You kind of mentioned a few names. I got a couple more for you. But who would you say is like your dog on your team? Bestie, is it bromance, the brother forever? Like, who's that guy?
I'd say probably Tristan Borges. Funny enough, him and I have known each other since we're 10 or 11 years old. And he's my roommate on every trip. But then again, like I share locker beside Bex and Ali, and those two guys too are just, we got a good midfield contingent. We're all really close with each other, and those are my guys for sure.
Okay, so if you had to room, you said you room with Borges, but if you had to room with someone else, say Borges was injured for a trip, who would that be? Who's next in line?
Probably Chris Colungo, because he's a very peaceful guy. He loves to sleep. He's not really causing much ruckus in the room, and that's exactly what I need on a away trip. So
is their own AC like up no matter what, or what?
Yeah. Well, when me and Borges go, we got the AC temp down, we got the bed selection down, everything's memorized at this point. But then if I were to go with Chris, he'd probably be throwing all the feng shui off. So it would be an interesting one, that's for sure.
That's how it goes. And also, keepers are just different.
Yeah, I always love leaving all their stuff out in the room. I'm just like,
Guys, bro.
We're only here for one day. I'll just throw my clothes on the ground.
As soon as you get into the room.
Yeah, classic keeper.
All right, last one for me. You've been in the league for a while, and like I said, you're an integral part of Forge, but also for me, you kind of embody what this league means. Like, it's not so much about, obviously, I'm eternally grateful for it because I was able to come back home, play in front of family, and then retire and still be in the game. But for players like you, like growing up and actually getting quality minutes in the league in your backyard is huge.
Yeah.
But what would you say the CPL means to you?
I think the biggest thing that it means to me is I know when I was a kid, looking up to professionals, I was watching Premier League games. At that time, the MLS was kind of on the up, and those are some games that I was watching, but there were never pros in my backyard or anywhere close by that I could really look up to. Apart from TFC, I remember growing up, going to TFC games was one of my favorite things, and I think being that person for kids growing up now and having the opportunity and platform for kids to look up to me and to see me as a professional in the country that they live in and the country that they love, I think is really important to me. And not only that, but this league, like you mentioned, has given me an opportunity to kind of come back home after I was in the US for university and play in front of my family and friends again. I think that's an amazing opportunity that, goes overlooked often because, I went through a period of 4 or 5 years where my parents could only come to a handful of games. And now that I'm back in Hamilton, even though Curtis is a little bit further away, they still make it out to as many games as they can. And that in itself means everything to me.
Outside of that, just enjoy it, bro. Love seeing you, love having you on here, and best of luck for the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.